Yes, I did get my hair cut. Yes, it came out way shorter than I intended. It is the end of January. I read 10 books, and so I'm actually going to be doing a speed wrap up today. 10 books in 5 minutes. Let's go. The first book I read, The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. Political intrigue, non-stop adventures, antics, humor, commentary on religion, class, war, and romance set in 1600s France. Should be boring, but is wildly entertaining. 5 stars. Counterfeit by Kristen Chen. A suburban housewife struggling with personal and societal identity issues after leaving law to have a baby is confessing to police how she was lured into and then forced to stay in a luxury handbag counterfeit ring. Commentary on the model minority stereotype by flipping it on its head and using it as a weapon or a shield for nefarious acts. Interesting premise and okay writing, but an unlikable narrator keeps it from succeeding beyond a generally good read. 3 stars. Surf is Where You Find It by Jerry Lopez, a collection of memories and short stories from one of the most famous surfers in history, all without ego. Respect for the ocean, the planet, and the culture is more important than pride or fame here. Not a memoir in a traditional sense. These are all exclusively stories about finding waves throughout his life. But if you're a surfer at heart, this book is for you. 4 stars. My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. Almost a good evil twin story here where the good twin is slowly being corrupted while believing them both to be good the entire time. While helping to protect her little sister by assisting her in hiding the bodies of men that she's killed in self-defense, the narrator slowly starts to realize her sister may not be a victim at all. The final straw comes when her sister begins setting her sights on a colleague that the narrator is secretly in love with. Does truth outweigh familial bonds, and is blood always thicker than water? 4 stars. White Fragility: Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism by Robin DiAngelo. White woman explains to white people why white people refuse to see themselves as needing to learn, do better, talk openly, and generally be less fragile in simple discussions about racism and the systemic oppression that still exists in Western culture, and gives a path and skills to overcome the ingrained fragility inherent to white people. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. White people don't want to hear it. 5 stars. The Man in the Brown Suit by Agatha Christie. Young orphaned woman decides she's smart enough and brave enough to seek out the life of adventure she's always dreamed about. Immediately, she stumbles upon a suicide, linked to a murder, linked to a crime syndicate, all somehow involving a man in a brown suit that only she noticed. Her response? I can totally solve this by myself. 5 stars. A Mercy by Toni Morrison. 17th century America. 4 women bought by the same man, some for labor, others for companionship, one for a wife. Each woman, removed from her home, family, and roots, experiences her own loss of freedom and varying degrees of friendship within the new family in very different ways. Seeing freedom as different things and reaching out for love in different ways, A Mercy explores slavery of whites, the wife, bought from England, blacks, the girl traded as partial payment for a debt, Native Americans, one of the only survivors of a smallpox outbreak in her tribe, and biracial, the girl rescued from a ghost ship, and explores what love can give us the strength to do as a mercy for our loved ones. 5 stars. Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor. Ugh. A fascinatingly told story from different points of view of the same timeline culminating in a horrific tragedy. But seriously, ugh. Greed, debauchery, violence, and excess in every aspect of life, the son of an immensely wealthy and powerful man tries to navigate life with no moral guidance and seeking only his own pleasure. With a chance at a real connection and happiness, he flounders against an unrelenting desire to please a father who seems to disdain his very existence. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Does Sonny want power or love? Can they be the same thing? 4 stars, but rough to read. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Zany adventure set in space when the most average human being imaginable is rescued from the Earth seconds before its complete destruction. Questions of purpose, destiny, chance, and free will are approached with humor and charm. Chef's Kiss. 5 stars. And finally, A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. Boring story about boring characters that elicit no emotional connection whatsoever until the ending punches you in the face and laughs at you while you cry. Also, super sexist, but what classic written by a white man isn't? Started as a 2, but ended up 3 stars. That's it. Those are my 10 books that I read this January. I hope you liked this speed wrap up. I think I might be doing this format a little bit more consistently going forward. I am super excited about February. I already have a list of books that I want to get to. I've already got another book started. And I will be reading Once There Was a War by John Steinbeck to be compared with A Farewell to Arms, because that is what is going to be compared for the Game of Tomes with Emmy and Carolyn Mary Reed at the end of February. So I have to get started on that for sure. Next week, I will also be posting my A Farewell to Arms reading vlog. This will also be a shortened format, but it is going to be just my thoughts as I was reading the novel and how I went from a 2-star finally getting to a 3-star, and my overall impressions of him as a writer and the book in general. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon. Be kind to others, take care of yourself, and I will see you in my next one.